What's up, guys? Frugal BC here, and today I'm going to tell you about what I decided to do with Algorand governance and why I'm doing it. So I'm going to lay out my strategy this time, why it's a little bit different than in the past, and just kind of walk through how I made my decision. We're going to talk all about that on today's Frugal BC. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And I just want to talk today about Algorand governance and my approach to it. I kind of questioned some things in my last video, and I got some feedback and response that I took all that into consideration, but I'm going to walk through what I decided to do with that and how I did it. Anyway, guys, go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you want to stay tuned to all our Algorand experiments and other blockchains too on occasion. As you know, whole point of this channel is to help out regular folks understand how this crypto stuff works, how you can make money in it, and just to do all that without the hype. Like I actually just do the experiments. I'm a regular guy too. I'm no tech wizard. I just dive into these experiments. I try them out. I tell you what went right and what went wrong. Not all of them are great, but everything in Algorand so far has been pretty good, usually with a few caveats. And that's better than I can say for a lot of other projects. You're going to have low fees with Algorand, you have low transaction costs, it's fast, and you can usually get in for pretty cheap. I've got a pretty good solid bag of Algorand and other projects, and the stuff is pretty user-friendly too. So if you want to follow on those experiments, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and if you wouldn't mind hitting the like button too, I really appreciate that. It helps feed the YouTube algorithm gods. They're hungry and angry, so we got to feed them. What are you going to do? Easier to give them a like than give them some of our algo, right? Anyway, let's get into my strategy. So this time around with Algorand governance, I was thinking about the laws of diminishing returns. All right, I'm just going to share my screen and we're going to look at the stats because actually it's kind of a little surprising in some ways. So far, it actually looks like a lot of people have made kind of a similar decision to me. We're going to see this number go down, of course, but right now the governance APR for period 3 is at 17.46%. Now, we've got some time now. Registration ends on the 14th. It started on March 31st, which is when the other one ends. Now, maybe this is just me being paranoid, but I always like to get my rewards first before I commit to the next period. And now the reward number, the number of algo is roughly the same, right? It was 70 million last time. Yeah, exactly the same. In fact, has it been the same every time? No, the first one was 60 million, and then they upped it to 70.5 million for number 2. And we're seeing that again here. Now let's take a look down here. Now we've got, like I said, we have till the 14th. It's only what, the 10th today? As I record this video, you might be watching it later, but 4 or 5 days left, basically the end of the 14th, I believe it is. And then then everybody else. So there's a lot more people that could get into this. So I don't know if that 17 is going to hold. We will see. Because right now there's only 39,151. Added 3,000 just today. So expect that to go up in the next few days as a lot of people wait till the last minute, just like their taxes. And so we'll see that number increase. And as that number increases, of course, the percentage goes down, but then it will go back up. And we've only got 1.6 billion, which sounds like a lot, but I think there was a lot more last time. Yeah, 2.8 last time. So that's a little more than half, but we added 12 million just today. So expect that number to climb too. But I think there's a good chance there's going to be fewer people in Algorand governance this time. Or they may be committing less. And that's exactly what I'm doing. We're going to talk about that in a second. But why would they do that? So even if it holds at 17%, which is a pretty good percentage, right now I'm earning double that on my USD/Algorand staking. Now that only is good through the end of May, but that is mostly, let's see if they show that here. Yeah, the period ends at 6:30, so that will cover most of the period. There'll be about a month where that will be over with. But I think people are finding that there's a lot more options this starting period than there were last time. Now we had Yieldy. Yieldy's been around since through most of the governance, but it's offering more and more stuff than it used to. So there's a lot more opportunities there. Tiny Man, remember when we first started this, Tiny Man was having all kinds of problems. So people were a little concerned about it. I think it was down for a little while. It was a while before it was back up, and I jumped back right back in. Some other people did too. I think last time now I talked about risk and reward, and that's a very important concept because really all we're talking about here is risk tolerance. Algorand governance is probably the lowest risk tolerance. It's the lowest risk level of anything in Algorand that I know of. Staking rewards was actually probably the lowest, but that's gone now. There's some other ones that might be similar, but really, as long as you can't really lose money, right? If you're committed in here, other than like opportunity costs, and that's an important thing too we can talk about, but you can't really, the only thing you can lose is if you accidentally go under your limit. I committed 250 algo this time, which is quite a bit less than I did in the past. I do think it's good to have a base of a good percentage base of fairly steady returns. So this is going to return something steady that I won't have to worry about. But other than that, you can't really lose money. So now Tiny Man, well, let's just talk about what am I doing instead? So what is opportunity cost? Well, opportunity cost, here, I'm going to stop my share for a second. So opportunity cost that means by participating in something, you're missing out on something that could be better. So, a great example people will use is when you talk about keeping your money in a savings account versus investing in an index fund. Index funds are generally considered pretty safe. So is keeping even safer, of course, is sorry, my animals are fighting. Even safer, of course, is keeping in the savings account, but you have an opportunity cost. You're getting 0.1% these days. The percentages for savings accounts are extraordinarily low. And if you consider inflation, you're actually kind of losing money, whereas that money could be put toward being in the stocks. Now in stocks, you might say, well, there's an opportunity cost there to put in something maybe more higher risk, like a business or maybe some sort of crypto project. So again, there's varying levels of risk, and you're always trying to match to your risk tolerance while keeping mindful of opportunity costs. Now, it's not to say that opportunity cost is necessarily a bad thing. It's just part of your decision, as is the risk. Everything has risk, even an index fund, though the risk is teeny tiny, and the gains are, are good, but not nearly as great as the stuff in crypto. But the stuff in crypto has higher risk. So you have to decide what's your risk tolerance, and you don't have to be all in on everything. You can say a good strategy is to have a good base of assets in a less risky area, and then to have a smaller percentage of your portfolio into higher risk stuff that could turn around really high rewards. So a lot of times I've heard criticism of crypto that it's gambling, and that's not really accurate. I mean, in the sense, all investing is gambling. It's just a matter of the risk tolerance that you're okay with. What risk level am I okay with? So when I invested, when I bought 20 Algorand tokens, I knew that was a very risky thing, and the risk came true. However, it also cost me 16 cents worth of Algorand, and that's not gonna make or break me. So I was able to take that risk and be okay with it. I'm buying a e-commerce site, and the investment is so low that if it doesn't pan out, it sucks, but it'll be a few $100s, but the potential rewards are such that it's worth taking that risk, even if it doesn't pan out. I did as much due diligence as I could, but there's just always a chance that stuff isn't going to work out. So you have to decide that. And then you have to decide whether you want to push your edge a little bit. I think good things can come when you're ready to push your edge. Now, this is a concept, funny enough, I got from yoga. Yoga talks about pushing your edge and, pushing out of your comfort zone just enough that, you don't want to break it. You don't want to break through because you'll do too much at once. So that's not maybe a concept you guys want to think about. It's just pushing your edge, just going a little bit further than you're comfortable with. And it's a good sustainable way to grow your risk tolerance and to grow a lot of things in life. That's it's a good thing for weightlifting too. You don't want to one day try 100 pounds more than you're used to. You want to slowly level up because your body will give your time body to get used to it. Same thing with investing, with risk level. It's like you want to take as you build your base and you get more comfortable and you get more financially secure. Now you can start leveling up your risk a little bit. So anyway, all that is to say, this is what I am doing now. Now I did a video on this before, but if we go to farm, it used to be called, oh, what did they call it? I think they called it staking. Now they're calling it farm. And so this is the current, this has changed a lot, but it's always been above 30%. This is the US dollar coin / Algorand pool. Now, what's cool about this US dollar coin, stable coin, always going to be worth $1 or really, really close to it, as the case may be. And I've actually put a pretty good amount in there. I've put about $300 worth of combined of Algo and USDC. So this is a big chunk. You can see my Algo number has gone down quite a bit. I got about 50 left over my committed amount that I can play with. And I can always buy more. But this has been spitting out some pretty good returns. Now this was like $30. And you know, it's returned 34 Algo cents so far. So it's done about 1% just in the time I've had this, which has been at what, 2-3 weeks. I did a video a little while back on this. So this is an option. Now this ends on May 31st, and I'm not sure what's going to happen on that. I'll probably cash it out and maybe look for another pool or just put it back in here. But this just seems like too much of an opportunity because there's a rewards APR and a pool APY. And so far, I'm just really happy with what I'm making. Again, I just did this today, so these returns are reflecting when I had more like $30 versus $300 worth in here. And I wanted to try it out. I wanted to test it out a little bit to see how it went. I just decided to go not exactly all in because, like I said, I still have some in the safe governance rewards, but you know, I'm going for a really high return here. Now there are other options. People have talking about using stuff like AlgoFi, using the borrowing against that to then turn around for governance rewards. I just don't, that's a level of complication I'm just not interested in. I would rather just put it in a thing that's doing pretty good, seems pretty stable. There are risks involved, of course. Tiny Man was exploited not that long ago. And so I am taking a pretty big risk. You know, if I lose it, that's bad, but it's actually a pretty small percentage of my overall Algorand portfolio. I feel like there's a lot to be had here. I feel like this is pretty stable and pretty likely to stay stable. Now, there will be a month overlap where I'm not earning that, but I still think I'm going to out earn what I would in governance, even with that smaller amount. But we'll see. I'll be interested to see what it ends up being. The math will be easy enough that I can figure that out. But let's go back to do some comparisons here before we conclude the video here. Yeah, my animals are like they're having a battle royale. Mostly my cat grumbles. And yeah, so the first period we had 1.7 committed billion, and then 2.8 the next one, and now we're at 1.6. So that's even less than the first one so far. But like we said, we have 4 days to go, and I think a lot of stuff comes in at the last minute. So, and only 40,000 governors. That's we started with like 70, almost 70 last time. If we're doing 3,000 a day, we probably won't get quite to last times, but also I would expect there'd be a lot coming in. Now there's a 4.3% is the expected period reward right now. As more people get in, that will go down, but I don't know how much. You know, again, this would have to not quite double to get to last time. I don't think it's not going to stay at 17, but then, you know, a lot of governors drop off. We saw that last time. In fact, we can see that if we go to period 2, and I know I showed you guys this before. Yes, there's and this happened the first time too. We go from like 61 down to 37. So you lose about, that's not quite half, but that's like about a third, more than a third. You lose more than a third of your governors. And what happens? What happened here? Well, this is the vote. This is the end of the vote. Some people just don't vote. So guys, if you are going to commit to Algorand governance, make sure you vote. That's a really important part of the game here. Like, you got to vote. Why don't we look at that for here? I'm just kind of curious. Yeah, I mean, you can see with the curve, This is just the number of governors, and it goes up a few thousand every day. Let's see. Yeah, we go from 22 to 26, 29, 31. Yeah, so about anywhere from like 2.5 to 4,000 governors a day. So I would expect this number, I would guess 55 by the end, but who knows? In fact, let me see really quick here, because trying to decide, yeah, like the last few days you saw really big spikes. So they were at 40 some, around 40 some with about 4 days left, and it went to 66. So I would say you might get in the low 60s even if it follows that pattern. And you can see you can see from the dollar amounts, the whales wait till the last minute. So that's the more salient metric there. And I think that's what you're gonna see. So this 1.6, that's not even gonna come close to that. It'll probably be a lot closer to last time. We'll see, maybe I'm wrong about that. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching the video. I want to hear what your strategy for Algorand governance is. Are you backing off this time? Or are you doubling down, or just kind of holding course? Let me know. I want to hear in the comments. Are you doing that AlgoFi thing where you borrow collateral and use that for governance? Let me know about that too. I didn't even look into it that much. I got too many projects I'm involved in anyway. I don't want to do another one. So, but I am curious to hear what you guys have to say, as always, and I respond to just about everybody as long as your comment makes some deal of sense. Sometimes people send me stuff that I'm not even sure what they're saying, and that's pretty hard for me to respond to, but overall I tend to respond to just about everybody. So come on in, let me know what you think. And also I'm thinking about doing a live show, like an ASA breakdown once a week. So we might be doing that. I'm not 100% sure yet, but we will see. Now, if you guys are interested in that, let me know in the comments too. Anyway, thanks so much, guys. Peace out. Hope you're all doing well. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the future.